feature that I'm introducing called Kilroy's Key 3. Now, I plan to do several of these over time. It's going to take a while to work on some of these, but basically what the new feature is going to be is segments where I take three games from my collection. I'm limiting it to my collection and talk about them for whatever aspect it might be. It might be, best World War One game, or it might be best, war game new to me in 2022. That's something I'm looking at. Hopefully, trying to do before the end of the year as kind of a recap if I can get to it. But I've done a lot of top 10 lists over time over at BGG as NAP 16. In fact, I think I started doing those before the Dice Tower started doing theirs. But I have a lot of top 10 lists, but it's kind of hard to find 10 games that I might have in my collection. A lot of those lists included games that I had played and did not own. So I'm limiting it to games that I own and have in my collection and have played and know enough about to talk about. You be decide if I know what I'm talking about. So, what is Kilroy's three or key three? What are the three keys that I'm basically going to be looking at? Well, I'm going to be looking at presentation. I'm going to be looking at operation, and I'm going to be looking at value. So, what are those three things? What do I mean by that? Well, with respect to presentation, I'm going to be looking at components, the map, the counter, if they have pieces, blocks or miniatures or whatever pieces that go along with the components of the game. I'm going to be looking at the graphics of it, whether it's the box or the counter design or the map design or graphics layout for player aids, whatever that's included in the presentation. And I'm going to be looking at the player aids, especially for war games, but even non-war games, the player aids are very important and help the game flow. With respect to operation, I'm going to be looking at gameplay and mechanics. What is it a system? Is it how does it play? What's all involved in the gameplay? Is it somewhat intuitive? Is it hard? Is it easy? Those kind of things of how what is the gameplay and mechanics. I'm going to be looking at the complexity of it. Especially with war games, there tends to be a certain level of complexity depending upon the game. And so the complexity and ease of play might kind of fold in there. So the gameplay and complexity, might merge in some respects. And then we'll be looking at the rules, which, kind of comprises all these things in operation of how do the rules work? Are they are they well written? Are they easy to follow? And how are the rules in general when I'm looking at the operation of the game? As for value, this is all these are subjective, but the third one is probably the most subjective of the three. And I'm going to be looking at, simulation and thematic. So with respect to war games, I'm going to be looking at how does it sim the experience? How does it recreate the history or the hypothetical that it's trying to cover? For non-war games, it's basically going to be, does it fit with the theme? Is it accomplish what it's trying to accomplish? I mean, not all non-war games are thematic, right? There's some abstract out there, but so does it accomplish what it's trying to do in that space? What's the overall experience? Is it for a war game? If we're playing it competitive, is it competitive? Is it offer a challenge to both sides? Does it offer a good decision space? Does it do you learn something from it? For non-war games, that might be competitive. It also might be simply as saying, is it fun, right? And finally, will you come back for more? Does the game offer you the ability to come back for more? That's really kind of the value. Is there replayability there? There's been a lot of games that I found really good. I really liked them, but it's kind of one and done. In the non-wargaming sense, this kind of goes to some of the, like the escape room games or the legacy type games that after you've played them enough, sometimes if you played them once, you kind of know what it is, and it doesn't really have a lot of replayability, so there's not really a lot of value there. So, when I'm looking at Kilroy's Key 3, I'm looking at those three aspects in general: presentation, operation, and value, which kind of make up my point of view on the game. This is kind of how I'm looking at it. Again, very um, subjective in that regard, but I've got a lot of games, played a lot of games, have a lot of experience, and thought, I'll share my views and leave it to you to comment and disagree or agree or be neutral on as you see fit. So that is something that I'm going to start working on, and try to have a segment on that. I like doing segments. I have my Coffee with Kilroy. I've got the developing sci-fi fantasy Saturday, which kind of goes a little bit. It does have some war games, but goes a little bit off the beaten path. And then the deep dives. I need to do more of those. I have a lot planned. It's just getting the time to do that. And so those are kind of some of my regular segments. And this one I think will be an interesting one. We'll see. I mean, I'll leave it to you to judge and find out what you think is interesting. So I want to thank you all for taking time to stop by, listen to me, and that's always appreciated. I'm amazed by that. But just want to give you a heads up on what's coming here, and also want to thank my daughter for doing the graphics. She does my intros and outros, and I commissioned this one special from her, so I want to thank her for that. So thanks all. Look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks for watching.